This conversation was recorded on March 7, 2026, prior to recent developments involving the theater company briefly mentioned in this discussion.
Trusting God, trusting the process, trusting life. It's very related to surrender that you just spoke about. This
Mm-hmm.
idea of sort of, in the context of problems, it
Mm-hmm.
looks like surrender, but just through life, it just in general, it kind of looks like trust.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually have enough evidence to draw from in my life.
Hey, everyone. Let's start healing. I'm Adrienne Murchison, and welcome back to the Let's Start Healing podcast. We have more in common than we think, and what we have in common can change the world. Well, today, my guest is Dr. Melody Kelley, who has been on Let's Start Healing in the past. And we are talking about things that we choose not to look away from. Sometimes there's things within ourselves or things in our environment, in the world that we live in, that maybe we don't want to focus on, or maybe we might have a tendency to go into denial about. And we are talking in a unique way about some of these things and just not looking away. And I will share in the conversation with her how I was inspired to talk about this. And Melody, Dr. Melody Kelley, she is such a unique person, a genuine, just a genuine friend. She is a public official. She is a city councilwoman here in the city that we live in Metro Atlanta, the city of Sandy Springs. She's a councilwoman, and that's her part-time gig. She's actually a college professor and teaches chemistry, and she's very rooted in the community. I will put a link in the show notes from my previous conversation with Melody. That was so much fun, where we talked about spirituality, life, prayer, how we connect with God. It was just a lot of fun talking with her and how she approaches life. So, a lot of people know that I am a person that's very passionate about humanity, about spirituality, about social justice. And what a lot of people don't know is, I guess, how I came to be this way or why I'm this way. And it's not such a uh, big, deep story. I mean, I was built this way. I was created, to love my fellow man, and my parents had a lot to do with that. My mom spiritually really instilled so much in me through her love of God and just me loving God as I was growing up. And my father, I've shared recently, was a very fiery person, but he also cared about his fellow man. He used to always just say to us, me and my brothers, how you can't take food off another man's table. And he would say that figuratively, but you can't take from someone and make them struggle, you know? So, but for me, really, the root of everything, I think, goes back to, yes, how I was born this way, but also as a child, because I was so sensitive, I w I would cry all the time. From my earliest memories, I was just always crying. I cried at least once a day. As a toddler, as an adolescent, I cried at least once a day, and it was very therapeutic for me because it helped me to get it out and move on, but it also helped me to process. And so it helped me to make sense of things, and things that made sense and things that don't make sense. So for me, Jesus, for example, for me, is a figure that just loves us. Jesus is love. God is love. And I can remember our family Bible, which is so tattered, but I still have it. Our big family Bible, I would just love on a Saturday night as a kid to just page through the Bible and read the different stories, especially in the New Testament, and look at these pictures of Jesus. And Jesus just loved us no matter what. So for me, never would make sense to think of Jesus or God as someone to fear or someone who would really judge us for doing something wrong. Jesus, God are figures who love us and forgive us in my mind and spirit. And also just really is there for comfort when we are hurting or when some harm is inflicted on us or some wrong is inflicted on us. This is just how I was built. So the time that we are in now, when I see things or when things arise that, especially if I see something on social media that just doesn't make sense to me in terms of justice, if it's coming from someone that I know, I often want to speak out about it. I often want to say, "Hey, what is this? That doesn't make sense to me. So, what are you doing?" And so that speaks to how I got to this episode that we have, which I thought was fun and had some nuance to it. And even as I share what I shared just now, we learn and we grow. So, what I just described, as I was growing up, I would learn and I would grow, and I would try not to be in denial about things. Sometimes I might sense that I was in a denial. I remember once before I was uh, going to therapy, I was living in New York, and a friend suggested that I go to therapy, and therapy was so beneficial to her, and she suggested that I go to therapy, and I thought, "Wow, I'm gonna have to if I go to therapy, I might have to address some things I'm not ready to address or some things I don't want to address." So I had an awareness of that dynamic, and I'm grateful that I had that awareness. So then I can make the choice. Okay, yes, I'm going to go to therapy. Yes, I'm going to address these things that I may be resistant to addressing. And I think that is what we are called to do during this time. Not saying you're called to go to therapy, but can't hurt. Can't hurt any of us. But what I'm saying is, I think that we are called to look at things that we might be reluctant to look at. Because I have some friends who tell me that they might talk to someone in their family or somebody that's close to them that thinks differently than they do on a topic that could be deemed controversial. But when the friend that I know wants to go have the conversation, the other person is reluctant to have the conversation and to look deeper. And so I believe that we are called to go deeper. And whoever that divine entity is for you, whether you call that divine entity source or your higher power or God, which is what I call my divine be all and end all, God, I believe that God is calling us to go deeper. The universe, source, higher power is calling us to go deeper. And if we don't make that choice, I just think that, let's not pretend that we don't know what's going on. You know, if we don't make that choice, let's stand in that place of, you know what? That's not what I choose to do right now. And let's not pretend that it's something else. But for the betterment of this world, um, I pray that I have the strength to go deeper, as I am called to do at any point in time, at any moment in time, at any point during the day. And so I'm not trying to say that I am any different from anyone else, but we all are called to go deeper. So let's get to it. Let's meet Melody and let's start healing. Welcome, Melody.
Thank you for having me, Adrienne.
I'm so glad you're back on yet again.
Yes, I can't get enough of Let's Start Healing.
I think you should be on here more often,
I
actually.
know. Yeah. I
Yes.
love podcasting with you.
Yeah. Well, I love when you're on, and I appreciate you deep diving into this area I want to dive into, which is not looking away from things that maybe we shouldn't look away from, whether it's personal, professional, media related, or politics related, separate from your profession, one of your professions. But I just wanted to talk about not looking away. And before I go into that, I want to ask you how you're doing today. How's your day?
I had a good day. Your girl is picking up a new hobby.
What's that?
I play chess
Get out. Oh,
on Saturdays.
you must be great at that. Really, where do you play?
Actually, I'm probably the worst chess player in the state, but I enjoy losing.
Where are you playing?
I play at the Sandy Springs Library, the Fulton County Library Sandy Springs branch.
Really?
Hey, shameless plug, every Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. There's a group of folks from the community. There's actually a group of gentlemen who I guess have a passion for expanding the knowledge of chess without the financial parts of it. So, or the cost at least. And so it was me and some kids
Well,
learning chess.
is it expensive because of the chessboard, or what makes it
No,
an
it's
expensive
actually
hobby?
not. It's not inherently expensive.
Okay.
What's expensive is the training, right? Getting access to people
Oh,
on a regular basis. I mean, you really have to either be in school, like K-12 education, and you have a chess club, or you're like paying someone to teach you how to play chess. So they just hang out at the library every Saturday. And I walked in and I'm like, I've never played in my life. I don't know anything about it. And they said, sit down.
so you learn, because I'm not familiar with chess. I mean, I know very, very little. And whenever I learn something about it, it just seems too complex. Like,
Right. I get your
very, very,
point.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually very simple, though.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's simple.
Do you feel like this can help you with life?
I think, yes, the answer is yes. There's the one way that I know it'll help me. I teach for a living, I teach college, and the older I get, the younger my students get. If that makes sense. So I think this keeps me humble,
Mhm.
so that I can walk into the classroom or the course, and I can meet my students where they are a bit more easily by being a student myself.
You're learning.
Subjecting myself to it, yeah, to this.
Wow. How many weeks?
It's rigorous.
It's rigorous?
Yeah, it has a rigor to it. But it's simple, but it has a rigor to it.
How many weeks have you been doing this? How many
Not long, not long.
Mhm.
A couple. And so what I do during the week is I play online.
Oh,
with people. So on chess.com.
that is too cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. That's like a
Yeah,
little hobby I
I
picked up
love
for
it. I
Saturday.
love it. How would you say that you are vibing with the Lord today? You and God.
Ooh. I think we're okay. We
Mhm.
rocking. Yeah, I we are we are all right now. And we've been I try to keep it pretty copacetic
Mhm.
with the Lord. I do. I really do. How about you?
I think I'm doing good. You know what I've found? I mean, I like to pray and meditate in the mornings, but I find that when I get in the bed at night and I'm laying on my pillow and my Shiloh is right beside me, that I'm starting to talk to God and saying things like if there's something troubling me,
Mhm.
I'll say, "God, please help me with this," or I feel,
Hmm.
I'm just giving this to you, it just, something that I might be dealing with personally, like my own issue or something that I might be struggling with, coping with it, letting it go, addressing it, whatever it is, from A to Z, that I find that I'm like just talking really intimately. I mean, I do that anyway, but it's just interesting. I think I'm in a surrender mode more or something.
Oh, that's a word.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a word. Um, it's interesting you didn't use the word prayer. So that's different than prayer, what you're referring to.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it is a type of prayer. But I'm saying to you, like, I'm not saying any formal prayer,
Hmm.
but I'm talking to God and I'm being very open.
Yeah. Can
And
I ask that? Do you find that when you make the ask, if you will, when you surrender something, eh, do you then kind of trust at that point? Like, are you experiencing that? Like, are you really giving it over?
I'm doing that from the sense of the closeness that I'm feeling.
Okay.
So I'm feeling a real connection and closeness, and I'm letting it go and going on to sleep. Or, a lot of times I like to watch old movies as I
Hmm.
drop off to sleep. So, I might go on to do that, or, so I'm just, so I feel the real closeness, in terms of how honest I'm being.
Okay.
And what I'm finding is in A Course in Miracles, it says basically, you do your part and let God do God's part.
Mm,
So I'm finding that I'm seeing a difference because I'm letting God do God's part and I'm just being open and honest.
you're not looking away.
You're you're so on it.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I
Yeah,
get
and I
that.
didn't plan that, it just happened one night. It happened one night. It was a Saturday night actually too,
Hmm.
come to think of it. Yeah, it just happened one night. I was just like, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." I was like, "Oh, this is what that feels like."
This is what that feels like. Yep, I know. I
Yeah.
do.
So, um, let me ask you this. What do you think God is calling you to do at these days in your life?
I feel it's interesting. I feel a calling not to look away,
Mm,
right? To step it up. Um, I feel a calling to lean in a bit more to my um to my instincts. to my
Mm.
intuition a bit more,
Yeah.
to be a little more courageous, whatever that means for me.
Mhm.
I feel a calling in that way.
How did that come about?
Mm.
If you're willing to share that.
So uh, you're actually a part of this. Um, so I had an incident. I've been thinking about this incident that I had. I don't know how long ago it was, maybe less than a year ago, where I attended a play.
Mhm.
You remember that?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I attended a play here in the community,
Mhm.
which is a common thing because we have a performing arts center, and there are plays regularly. And I attended this one play with my daughter, and I was uncomfortable uh, with some of the language in the play, and my daughter was uncomfortable, and I remember just juggling with, do I say something? Do I, as a person who has access to the people who put this play on, what do I do? And I made the choice to advocate. And while I didn't actually get what I asked for, I I just feel good. That was, to me, that was the start of, yeah, you really need to, like, there's you really need to listen and speak up more, I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know, but I mean, you were a part of that experience.
Yes.
That was not easy for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So there was an uncomfortable conversation with the executive director,
Mhm.
and then it was interesting because I didn't get what I wanted, and it was hard for me not to hold a grudge after that, right?
Yeah.
Not to be hold on to it.
What you're bringing up speaks to what inspired the conversation that I wanna have.
Mhm.
And so I hope it's okay for me to say what that related to, because it relates. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah.
So, because, in that play, there was, racially charged language
Right.
because of the time period that the play was set in. And I think what's getting me these days is that a lot of times I think people are oblivious to things, and maybe it's because of a lifestyle, or just their own journey, that they haven't had to not be. They've been allowed to be oblivious to things. But to me, just human nature calls for depth and empathy
Mhm.
and self-awareness, for
Mhm.
sure. And so that play, well, while, I had mentioned I had seen that play on Broadway, while that play might be okay in a certain setting, in this particular setting, I don't think that play was appropriate.
Exactly. I
And
just yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
So
it. That's it. And
mhm,
I mean, if we could be more specific, like so we're talking about the use of the N word
mhm,
in this particular form with the ER.
yes.
Again, in alignment with the period it was set in. But I counted the use of it. And I'll tell you, by about the fourth or fifth time, I mean, it was like my daughter was sitting right next to me. We're in a theater, and like I can feel her shake every time it's used. Like I don't even know if she was consciously doing it, but
Mhm,
I could feel her movement. And there were other people in the audience. It was not it was a majority white audience, but
mhm.
there were a few other people in the audience, like just across the theater, who I knew and I spoke to, and they were having the same, they had the same reaction.
Right.
Um, it just wasn't, it wasn't appropriate even in the context of art.
Mm-mm. No, and it's so funny we're talking about this because I actually was thinking about that play this week for some reason, maybe because of what I'm gonna bring up in a few minutes. But I was thinking about that play, and I remember talking to the executive director, and she was telling me how she had talked to the actors, the Black actors in the show, beforehand, and the director was Black as well, and that there was a real conversation about their comfort level with the use of this word. And so I thought, when I was thinking this week, that's still not good enough because they don't live in this community,
That's it.
you know?
Yeah. She forgot to look outward,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
that was it. And the ask for me, when I had the conversation, the ask was actually not to stop using the word. The ask was to at least offer a disclosure
In the
at the
beginning.
start of the play,
Right.
which you would do
Right.
in other situations that I've seen them in other situations.
Right.
So that was there was, yeah, to your point, that was it was a little short-sighted in my opinion.
Yeah. And I forgot about that actually. And, to listeners now, she came out before each performance. She came, the curtain is closed. She
Right.
came out to talk to the audience. And so that's the opportunity. It's not
Mhm.
like, there's no conversation with the
Yeah.
audience beforehand.
Right.
That's the opportunity to bring that up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's standard. She comes out, talks to the audience, fundraises a little bit. Like, yeah,
Right.
that was an opportunity to just you know to give people a little bit of a warning and to just acknowledge
Right.
that it could be jarring for people with certain backgrounds. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, there was someone else in the audience who I knew who was African American. And this person actually brought their mother. So, just to speak about generations, I brought my daughter, younger generation. She brought her mother. So, even there was just this intergenerational
Yeah. And her mom
effect.
was either late 80s
Yeah,
or older,
right,
right?
right. Yeah, 80, yeah, early to mid 80s.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, so you can imagine, and it's funny, like for my teenage child to be triggered, who didn't grow up with any of anything really. I can only imagine how that might have impacted her,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
the mother.
Yeah. And so, to what I want to bring up about looking away, because you could have looked away, I could have looked away, we could have just went on about our business, like that was not a good experience, and then just
Yeah,
kept it
I'll
moving.
never come back, that kind of thing.
Right. But we didn't do that. And I've had conversations with loved ones, um or a loved one, another loved one who's a close friend, one who's a family member, about this time that we're in, and me thinking that we're all called to do something, whatever that is, that resonates for us. And they might be, I know one of my loved ones said, well, what do you want people to do? And my response is, to both of these two, has been whatever resonates for you, but something. So this past last weekend, I was online on social media, and someone had made a political post. And in someone commenting on this post, they posted an AI video. So the post was about Iran, and the person, a commenter, not the person who made the post, uh, posted an AI video of Trump in the Oval Office, dressed up in like hip hop garb. He's got a do rag on. he's got on, I think, a jersey, and he's got like some kind of chain around his neck, and he's rapping, and he kicks it off with the N word with the ER, and he did that twice. Okay, so the person who made the post is someone who is outspoken in the community, in the not too far away. And I've interviewed before for stories, as well as the person who's made the post and the original post. And so I said, wow, so and so, you are expressing the N word now. What are you going to do tomorrow? Are you just going to create your own video with the N word in it? And so then the first reaction, his first reaction was, I thought it was funny. And so I don't know what I said to that. I mean, I had a comeback for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so then however I responded, he said, apologies, but a Black man created it.
Mm.
And so I said, well, I think that's just, your excuse for sharing it. And so then, I think we went back and forth another time. And then the person who created the post came in and tried to stick up for the person and said, well, it's really hard to tell these days, whether you can use the word or not, because, it's in music and everything. And,
I wonder if they had an opinion about that video that the president shared a couple weeks ago.
With the Obamas?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they had an opinion about that.
Yeah, I bet it wasn't our opinion. I bet it wasn't our opinion.
I think what I'm getting at is I bet there's some hypocrisy at play. I bet they were outraged.
You think so?
By the sharing of that video from the president. And now they're justifying their own sort of harmful sharing of a video. So.
I think, well, I don't know. I tend to think that that people who are his supporters want to say he didn't post that. He said he didn't create that. Mm-hmm. They want to resort to that. But so my whole point of bringing all of this up was that, I feel like I'm going to speak to something like this when I see something like this, or something else that's on another totally different subject that I think is necessary to address. And I may get nowhere in addressing it, but I can't just ignore something like that.
And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you cannot.
Yeah.
Cannot ignore it. Yeah.
So I want to say that inspired me to write a column, which I'll put a link in here for Supporter Report. I don't think I sent it to you, but I wrote a column about basically caring versus apathy in this political time that we're in.
Okay.
So I'll send that to you. However, that inspired me to want to do this game where we look at other things in life, whether it's personal or professional, that we may be looking away from. I mean, sometimes people look away from loneliness or mental health, or I wrote some stuff down, just racial tension, just feeling like spiritually vacant sometimes. Something's just not right. And they don't really zero it down to see, what is it that is causing this emptiness right now. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, we can look away from things. So I thought that I would suggest that we pull from these, I want to call them oracle cards. So I have 2 decks. Okay. And one deck is called Spiritwood Oracle, and it is from this is a little book right here, and this is what the cards look like on one side. Let me pull up a card. So a card on one side looks like this. And
Okay.
then on the other side, it'll have a word, and this says spoon, and it
Yeah.
says, I transform my challenges into soul nourishment.
Yeah.
And then this book, I'll go to that in this book, and the book has a little write-up and some questions that we, whoever pulled the card would answer.
Ah, okay.
And so then, so we could take turns pulling from that deck, which is the soul deck. And I want to say that this deck was created by the author of an unrelated topic who was on my podcast episode, I want to say 189. Her
Oh,
name
wow.
is Dina Saalisi, and she has this beautiful book called Transcending Sexual Trauma. And so her deck sort of accompanies that in terms of connecting with the love inside you.
Okay.
And then the other deck is a human deck, and that is, it's a conversation game called Skin Deep.
Okay.
All right. And the cards look like this. And I would ask you a question like this card says, why do I do what I do? So you can answer that in whatever way you want to answer that if I were to pull from that. So does that make sense?
It does. It does.
All right.
And I have a deck too.
Oh,
Yeah.
if that relates and you want us to use that as well, we can. I don't mind.
Let me think about it.
Okay. All right. So I thought whichever one you want first, then you'll answer the question, and then I'll do the opposite deck, and then we can alternate that way.
How do we fold in our theme of not looking away? Is that
I think it's
bring that in?
it's inherent in the conversation, because the questions are thought-provoking things that we may or may not want to address, and it may relate to our listener, because as we pull a card, we'll see what we're not looking away from.
Oh, so we are actively
Mhm.
exercising this idea of not looking away. Oh,
Yeah.
you are something, you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
I think I'll go soul.
okay. So, like I said, let me shuffle these a little bit. And where do you want me to pull from, the beginning, the middle of the end of the deck, or the end of the deck?
Let's go middle.
Middle?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll explain how this book works as I pull it up. So the card is, she's very much into nature and trees, which I love. And this is called Ash. And the card says, I draw forces from creativity from the depths of the earth. And I'm going to look this up in the book. Oh, and that's the first one. The section of the book is called 23 Trees and Their Wisdoms. Ash relates to imagination, self-expression, and creativity. It guides you inward to call upon your muses. This is a powerful time to communicate your artistry with flair. Okay, and the questions, here's 3 questions. What are you creating? How do you express yourself? What would you like to communicate out loud?
Ooh. So I think I mentioned earlier in our conversation that I am not looking away from my intuition, and I just want to say I'm beginning to recognize that as a source of creativity. So even on a practical level, I was listening to like Les Brown one day, like some old Les Brown, like back in the day. And
Yes.
he was saying like, you wake up every day and like write down your ideas. So I've actually started even doing that and just
Mm-hmm.
really adopting a curious posture.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about my exploration into chess, like just trying
Yeah.
to uh just circulating myself in the
Yes.
world a bit
Yes.
more. And with an effort to produce something that's authentic. And so
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that. Circulating yourself more in the world.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think it's such a wonderful idea to write things down. Last year, I was writing down what would come up in my meditations. And I was looking back at it recently and I thought, well, I'm so glad I wrote this stuff down because I wouldn't remember it otherwise.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think that's such a great idea. All right. See what question.
Okay.
I'd rather pick a soul card, but I'll do that next time.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
Um, Mine is what do I need to let what do I need to let go of it? I don't know what that means.
You're reading a card or
Mhm.
you
This is
already.
my human connection card.
Oh, what do you need to do to let go of it? Oh,
So,
this is good. What's it?
yeah, what is it? What is it? What is the what do I need to do to let go of the thing?
Can I and I have a card for you too
Okay. All right.
at some point.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Um, I think that the thing to let go of is not caring what other people think, and I
Clock
think
it.
I think I'm making progress with that. And what do I need to do to let go of it? I think is to not think about the thing that I might worry about, you know? Like, so the other day there was something that was
No.
on my mind about what
Mhm.
somebody might be thinking, and I thought, I am not going down that rabbit hole, you know? Like I'm moving on to another thought.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
I
was gonna
said
say, what do you replace it with? How do
yeah,
you pivot?
I tell myself, you're I am moving on to another thought, and I move on to another thought about something totally unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, what good is that? You know? Caring what other people think. I'm doing the best I can, doggone it.
I
So,
know that's right. Great.
I know that much is true.
Yes.
So, that's
Agreed.
that's what's up with that. Um, well, it's your turn for a human connection card.
Let's go. Human connection.
So do we want beginning, middle, end?
Back of the deck.
Back of the deck. I'm picking the last card. Okay. Mm.
What happened? What happened? What is it?
What three experiences from the past shape my current perception?
Ooh, 3. It
Yes,
doesn't really say 3.
it says three. So this is the answer to let's see what we're not looking away from. That's the answer to the question to that is what three experiences from the past shape my current perception? Perception. Oh,
Okay.
you look sad.
Oh, okay. One of the things I've started to acknowledge a bit more is part of the reason I'm so service oriented is because I was the recipient of a lot of service. So I'm beginning to recognize that even my uh, having a career as a chemist or chemistry professor was not necessarily accidental. I was very much mentored into it by people just going above and beyond. So there are actually quite a few of experiences that I had just as a young student from a family where no one had graduated college or had really done too much after high school, in an environment where people didn't really go to college at all, and having all of these sort of philanthropic resources poured into me kind of shaped me going to college, me having research opportunities, and just sort of being pushed into this direction. So part of the reason I'm like this chemist, but also this community servant, has to do with the fact that I had a lot of science related service experiences as a young person.
That is beautiful. I love that.
Okay.
I love that. And it has me thinking of something I meant to ask. Did you happen to see any of Jesse Jackson's funeral? I watched the whole thing.
Did you?
Yes, it's
No,
on YouTube.
girl, I'm watching clips. I'm strolling and seeing clips.
It's because I've watched it at my leisure. You know, I'm getting dressed, I'm cleaning up, I'm running, you know, so I've watched it. Isaiah Thomas,
basketball player?
Detroit Piston.
Detroit, what up? What up, Joe?
Thomas, you have to go listen to him. What you just said made me think of him. Everybody was very powerful, but you have to go listen to him on YouTube.
I have to go listen to Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
I'll search it. I'll get it done.
Yes, yes. So would you like to pull from one of your cards for me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so your card is called, this is your card. It's called Messenger.
Oh, okay. So you just pulled it. Okay. What's the name of the deck? Tell us about the deck.
Oh, the deck. Okay. The name of this deck is the Starseed. All right. It's the Starseed Oracle. So
okay.
I don't know.
By Daniel Noel. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Danielle Noel and Rebecca Campbell.
Okay.
Okay. So this card that I pulled already for you is called the Messenger. All right. And what it says on the card is Sirius energy, and Sirius is spelled Sirius, bringing harmony and balance. Okay. Now, when I go to the book, here's your question. All right. You ready?
Yes.
It's actually two questions. Well, yeah, this is it. How are you being called to bring harmony to your life or the planet? That's question number one. Question number two, how are you being called to honor the sacred masculine and feminine within you? Do what you want with that. That's your prompt. You are free. Go ahead.
First of all, I didn't know that Sirius, Sirius, was a word outside of Sirius, you know, the Sirius radio. You know, so I don't know what that word means. Does it mean like frequency or something like that? Or what does that mean? The word, do you happen to know?
Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky.
Ooh, wow. Okay, so the first part of it is, read the first part again.
How are you being called to bring harmony to your life or planet?
I am being called through God. And you know what I want more than anything in the world is to serve God. I want God to lead me, show me, you know, I want that more than anything in the world. And I believe that that is done through whatever our passion is. And so lately I've been trying to serve, I've been trying to connect with what brings me joy. Like you mentioned chess. I've been trying to connect with things that bring me joy. And I've been trying to let God lead me. And I believe that I am, as far as harmony goes,
Mhm.
I think that I don't know. I don't have to know what something looks like. I just have, like I don't have to know what the result is. I just need to do the thing in love. So I am allowing God, I believe I'm called to help bring people into self-awareness as I bring my own self into greater self-awareness
Mm.
and love. So, it's not like, oh, I know this, let me show you this. It's as I do that with myself, I can do that with others.
Wow.
And I believe that makes for a better world in the best way that I can. And something that really struck me, I think that this is so obvious, but it didn't occur to me until I went to this King holiday event, and Kathy Hughes, who owns, all these radio stations, was talking about how she knew different leaders during the civil rights movement and how they weren't here Dr. King, for example, wasn't here, to see his work come to fruition. And so and she said, you don't always get to see the benefit of what you do. And that has been really coming up for me a lot in different ways since then, since January. And so, I would love to see a better world while I'm still alive.
But you may
But,
not.
I might not see that, utopia that
Mhm.
I want to see. I may not see that, but it
Yep.
doesn't mean that I don't do, what I think I'm called to do in my little corner of the world.
Right.
And then you mentioned uh the feminine and masculine. That is
Mhm.
so amazing that you asked me that question, because the coming into this year, I think I wanted to say yes to myself more. Uh, and I put it into Chat GPT, and Chat GPT was coming back with um, being softer. And I
Mm.
was just like, what's that got to do with it?
Yes.
And uh and just the responses were getting me to understand that I don't always have to be hard, and some people don't think I'm hard at all. And they're like,
Mm.
what are you talking about? But other people think I'm very hard,
Mhm.
so but just realizing that I can be a little more gentle with things that I feel strongly about
Yep.
is balancing the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah.
And also I think that related to me with wanting to draw in a partner, and a partner being intimidated, although
Mhm.
I've had to still honor myself, like,
Yes.
no, that's not true.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sit up here and let you say something that's not true and act like
Right.
it's true. I'm just not gonna do that. And
Mhm.
so even that can be taken as hard and mean and cold. And I have to just let that be what it is, you know. So um I can, we can say something gentle and somebody can receive that as harsh. And so I have to, honor myself, honor the truth. I try to do that as best I can. and
Yeah.
also understand that tomorrow I may have a whole new understanding that I didn't have today
Yes.
about
Yeah.
their point of view that I couldn't see.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That was
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of long-winded, but
No, well done. It was a deep question. Yeah, for sure.
thank you, thank you. So, well, you get to go now to back to the soul question, and then I'll do
Oh,
the soul question
okay.
because you did the human question in terms of what are we not looking away from?
Right.
Is this beginning, middle, or end of the day?
Let's go with the middle.
You want to go with the middle, A?
The middle. Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's see here. Um, so you're trying to get a grip on the card. Mm. I live my life to experience joy. Dogwood.
Dogwood.
I live,
Trees.
yes.
I got another tree card.
Hmm. This is a wisdom card. Life, joy, and beauty. Each day is a new opportunity to live your life to the fullest. As challenges arise, feel into your personal power of self fulfillment. Know that everything is in alignment and will work out. Joy is your divine birthright. I'm jumping around, it's like 3 paragraphs. But
Okay.
the questions are what is working well in your life? What brings you joy? How do you connect with beauty?
Well, one of the things that's working well is trust. Trust is going okay right now. Um,
Trusting what?
trusting, uh, trusting God, trusting the process, trusting life. Um, it's almost it's very related to surrender that you just spoke about. This
Mhm.
idea of sort of in the context of problems, it
Mhm.
looks like surrender, but just through life, it just in general, it kind of looks like trust,
Mhm.
um, and just being kind of okay
Yeah.
where I am, you know.
Yeah.
Um, it's been working. It yeah, it really has been. I think I'm at a point where I'm not to date myself, but I am actually old enough to just have enough evidence that
Yes.
supports just trust. It works out.
Yeah.
Like I actually have enough evidence to draw from in
Mhm.
my life.
I know this says what brings you joy. What brings you joy in teaching?
There are some days where things connect beautifully.
Mhm.
Um, there are just some days where you deliver some content, you deliver it in a way that it connects to students, it connects them to the world. And in chemistry, you know, I find sometimes it can connect them to themselves a little more deeply. You
Hmm.
know, like it can we can get deep sometimes in chemistry. Um, like you can really send some powerful messages through physical science. And those days are probably, yeah, those are those are the good days.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's like you're waking something up.
Yeah, you're waking something up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Students are viewing the world around them a little differently. You know,
Mhm.
seeing in other words, it's like we is one, you know, and you are seeing yourself as a part of something larger,
Yeah.
you know, and I think some content, some days, some parts of the curriculum uh,
Mhm.
can can help students with that.
Wow.
Yeah. Hmm. Thank you for the question.
I love it. Well, should I pull another from your cards?
No, go soul for you. Go
Go
soul for you.
go so okay. I pulled or. That's a nice looking card. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
See that? And or it says, I release resistance as I welcome flow.
Mm.
That's pretty
I
cool.
like that one. I like that.
Yeah. Gotta put the glasses on. Okay. That's under 20 tools and their intentions. This is about effort, movement, and flow. I release resistance as I welcome flow. As you work diligently to realize your goals, feel into the intense sense of ease that is now possible through your persistent efforts. You have developed a course of action that will certainly guide you to success. Trust in your ability to make it happen. Where does the energy of effort feel like? What feels stuck?
Mm.
What feels easy?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm. Come on, or
I feel effort with things I don't want to do. Or
and don't we all?
yeah, I feel effort with, if it's spiritual related or if it's relating to a person in terms of my work, then, I feel more of a flow. If it's relating to these local government issues,
Don't do that.
that
Don't do
feels
that.
that feels like an effort. That feels like an effort. I want to say, I think this fits with what something I wanted to bring up. So the beginning of the year was really hard for me because of, I have a lot of losses in January. So there's a lot of anniversaries in the month of January. But also, I'm never anticipating January because, it's such a contrast to December. And, it's cold usually. And it's also a contrast. It's not just in terms of the holiday, but the I care about you in December versus I don't care about you in January aspect of people. It's just all so depressing. And so and we're supposed to like get back into eating better and get back into fitness,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
all of this stuff. And so I did not feel anything like doing that. I just felt like I was in a hole and I felt like I don't feel like doing that. I don't give a damn. It was that.
Mhm.
But I will say going to the excuse me, the King event that I went to,
Mhm. The one you
I
just
felt
referenced.
like I'm among my people. And I mean, of course I felt like that from, being Black, but spiritually, I felt like I'm among my people. I felt like that spiritually. And I wasn't expecting that from the event that I went to. And so that was, very fulfilling. And then I also knew that, excuse me, I wanted to, uh, I was interested in this church online. Like I had this awareness that I miss meeting A Course in Miracles, the Course in Miracles discussion groups
Mhm.
before the pandemic. Like there's a real hole for me there.
Yes.
So I knew that I wanted to start connecting with this church that I started connecting, with online. And so that started helping me get into a shift while I was in January. And then in February, I started just doing some things I really, wanted to do.
Mhm.
And I really feel like it was more God than the doing of what I'm saying I did. I
Mhm.
feel like that was really God. Like I just I felt like I feel like God has me in a flow.
Mm.
I feel like God has me in a flow.
Yes.
And I'm not doing much more than accepting it and acknowledging it.
Mhm.
And effort is not the thing that we're supposed to be I think effort comes, if it's out of love
Yeah.
and, you're like, I'm doing this because I love this person so much, or I love this cause so much, or
Yep.
something like that. But other than that, I don't know that we're supposed to have a lot of effort.
I know. Good point. Good point. I've started requesting from God, from source, to just, can you just line me up as best you can with the tasks that I have to do today? Can you
Mhm.
just help me align with them so that it's not so much effort? Because I think effort really does lead to burnout, and I don't have as much tolerance as I used to have for just pure effort. I
Mhm.
just don't. I really need to feel it. I need to
Yeah.
feel it. So,
I think that what you're talking about is coming from the energy of the world is a lot. And I think that part of that feeds into that,
mhm.
what you're describing. Do you think so?
I do. What do you mean? Energy of the world.
I mean, that there's an energy in this world, in the climate. I don't mean the weather. I mean the political climate, no matter where we align with our neighbor next door, that's heavy. And I think that that plays into the energy that we have, the physical energy, and our innate desire that we have to do whatever we're doing
Yeah.
by
I
obligation or desire.
yeah, I definitely think it causes a bit more fatigue. And I think I want to also submit that in addition to like our political climate, there's the general culture of hustle that gets very it's absolutely it's antithetical to inspired action and a lot of the things I believe in.
Yeah.
But it is ubiquitous. Like
Mhm.
just
Mm.
so I get caught up in that too. Just if we're talking about externally, what
Yeah.
are some
I
factors?
know that about you, actually. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
have a lot on your plate. I mean, if you only go with the 2 things,
right.
in terms of you being a public official, and
Hmm.
you being a college professor,
Right,
you know, that's enough. But then you have other things that you're involved with, and you're a mother
right. I
of a
do
young
have
adult.
a That's true. That's true. And I just think that I already have enough on my plate. Like, so what happens up here can kind of add to the plate, you know? So I have to, all the more reason to be careful about the way you carry it because it's a heavy load, you
Mm,
know?
yeah. Well, so wanna pull one more card for yourself, and that be the last one?
Yeah.
And,
Um,
I was wondering if you pull from your deck, but don't look for the cards you wanna pull, just
Close my eyes.
and
Just do
pull a card.
All right. I just pulled. All right. I have pulled. Uh, okay. Hold on. Let's see.
Hold the door. Hold door. I love to say that.
All
Hold door,
right.
hold door.
Okay, so I have child of the cosmos. You can't really see it, it's blurry.
The
The intel
Capricorn is holding a card of the cosmos.
child of the cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Ah, would you believe I just opened the book and it went straight there? Like, I swear to God, like I just opened the book. Like I didn't even go to the table of contents. Okay. Oh, this is so perfect for our conversation. The question, the soul inquiry is what it says. How can you surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life? How can I? Whew, well, you know what? Um, by creating space.
What does
Yeah,
that look like?
I think it looks like, moments where I'm on a podcast with, my girl, you know what I'm saying? But no, I think everything we just talked about, trust, faith, um, not looking away,
Yes.
not
Yes.
looking away, because a lot of times, these things are part of the experience you're supposed to have. You know what I mean? On your journey.
Yes.
And so, have the courage not to look away from stuff. And
Ab-
that, can apply broadly.
yeah. And do you listen to your body sometimes? Like I will listen to my body in terms of if I feel some unease or if I feel
Mm,
um some joy, in my heart. Like I listen to the sensations that arise in my body is what I'm trying to say. And so
mm,
that may tell me if I'm having a resistance to something
mm, mm.
or if I'm really on point with something, if I'm feeling like all this abundance of love and joy in my chest, in my spirit. So those are just a couple of examples, but do you do that?
So Iyanla Van Zant has this terminology, neck down dead. Um, I live in my head. So that's something I gotta work on. I am not, I just drag this little thing along with me.
She says more, say more. She says neck down dead. Are you saying that's what that describes you? And
Yeah, neck down dead, unfortunately. And I work on it. Like I I I know it's the right thing, especially for someone my age, to go to the gym, but I go to the gym to feel stuff in my body. Just to get out of the head and into my quadriceps, right? Into my glutes. um, like
but
I like strength training because I'm really, depending on what muscles I'm working, at least I'm feeling something for 45 minutes. Um, Otherwise, I'm just like, you know, up here.
wow.
I really
So
am.
I could take that as though you are freeing up space. When we go to the gym, when we exercise, we are loosening up space. We're getting that agita unstuck
Mm,
when we exercise.
yeah.
Do you feel that happening? I understand the point of what you're saying. You're like, if I'm focused on the pain in my arms as I'm doing this, I'm not
It's
in my
something.
head.
It's something.
I
But
get
you
I get that, but
All right, so you're saying more like the impacts even after you leave the gym, even after you.
period. I mean, period. After you leave the gym, I mean, the act of doing that is loosening things up.
Yeah.
And I I know when I was training with this friend one time, it used to really get me how I would think I can't push or lift a weight, like say with my legs, because it's just too heavy. And he would, just basically tell me to let go, like, cause I might think I can't do one more, I can't do it. And he would just basically tell me to let go in
Mhm,
my mind, just let go. And
mhm.
then my leg would move.
Oh, wow.
Then my leg would be able to lift the weight that
Mhm.
I told myself I can't lift. And I find that so fascinating,
Yeah,
That is something that is other than myself,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
so I get what you're saying, yeah. You do have to do it well, you do have to get out of, you have to be present, and I think that loosens some stuff.
I'm ultimately trying to make the point that you are doing something when you're even more than what you think you're doing. You think you're
Yeah.
getting out of your head, which you are, but
Mhm.
it's even greater, I think, than you think.
Okay, I accept that. I receive it.
Before we end this and tie this up in a bow, is there anything that you can share in terms of a blessing or a miracle or even a meanings glean that you haven't shared that you said, "This is all God, I had nothing to do with this"?
Okay, so for me, it is I recently uh, started a just a very local, small audience, a live show where I'm streaming in my capacity as a public official, and it's simply a engagement mechanism, community outreach, but it's in this type of forum. It's online, and the first of all, I did my first, call it an episode, and I was amazed at how natural it came to me. I actually enjoyed it. And it's interesting when I compare myself to like 4 years ago, I would have been a nervous wreck doing something like that. I would have I would have opened up the Zoom or whatever I'm using, and I would have just kind of been quiet and afraid to say anything, not willing to share, and just waiting on people to ask me questions and maybe I'll answer them.
Mhm.
But I was actually able to just lead a conversation really by my damn self. Just let's talk about this and let's talk about that. And just having the confidence that the information that I'm providing, even if in the moment it's not, no one is engaging with it, it is important information overall. So my point is, I stretched myself a little bit and I learned something new that I kind of like doing.
Yeah. Yeah, no
And that was
question.
cool.
You're a natural. You are a natural, I believe. I mean, you've been on podcasts, not just this one. You've been on other podcasts. So you're a natural on a podcast. And even though we've talked about this when you were on here the first time, I feel that you listened to the pull or the nudge that has brought you to your life at this point in time, in terms of living here in this particular community and just getting involved in the community when you first got here and, seeking out, people to connect with and that leading to you having a desire to be a public official. I mean, you could have just been a person who moved here. You have a great profession as a college professor. You were in a new position, I believe, when you came into this community. And you could have just said, well, I'm going to get settled and, start my life here in this, in my work. And, I'm raising a daughter. And you could have left it at that. That would have been nice and fine. And so, but you listen to, the nudge, the pull, whatever that was, you followed that. And I mean, of course, you're a person that you think things through. And I get that part of you, but I feel like it was greater than that because you're connected to so many people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And it unfolded in an organic way.
It did. It really unfolded. I mean, that's really what happened. It just evolved.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Dr. Kelley, thank you for being on the podcast on Let's Start Healing.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Yes. Well, don't say that because I'll have you back real soon.